So my name's Victoria. I'm a wife. I'm an auntie. My near 16-year-old nephew lives with me, and I'm an executive co-head teacher for a group of schools in South East London. I've always known Aaron as a deeply committed Christian and been able to talk to him about different aspects, different things that have gone on. And even before we started to read the Word one-to-one, he would talk to me or send me messages, Bible verses, things like that to encourage me. And sometimes I could tell he just wanted me to be able to believe. So I think using the Word one-to-one was a good way of helping me understand about having a personal relationship with Jesus. So by then, he had found the church for me. So I've been going to Elmstead Baptist Church since September 2021. And going to the church and hearing the Word taught so well, and the service spending so long teaching about the Word, it made me realise that I needed to find out more about it too. So I was quite happy to find out more about the gospel and find out how it was going to affect me, and what impact that could have on me. And what's good about the resources, it breaks it down. So you're quite focused on what you look at, and then you can look at each word or phrase and talk about it. Sometimes there was happiness, sometimes there was sadness. Quite a lot of times there were tears. Aaron will probably say that we used a box of tissues each session. But that's all because I think it's stirring in your heart, and it is making you feel things that maybe are uncomfortable or maybe you didn't want to confront. But if you're doing it with somebody that you trust, then you can have those conversations. So I was challenged by Aaron and by Ollie, who's the pastor at my church. And in the Word one-to-one sessions, we were reading, and what I was discovering was touching my heart. And each week I would sit in church and I'd be listening to what Ollie was preaching, and I would be thinking about how is this affecting me and why is it affecting me? So Aaron and I had been consistently reading the Bible for over a year, and I'd been attending Elmstead Baptist Church for about a year too. And then it just kind of all came together on one Sunday back in September 2022.
The first series we did after she started coming was Genesis 1 to 12, and we called it Origins. And she could see echoes of John's Gospel in Genesis, in the beginning. And so she was tying those two together, but she was just saying that I think as we went through Genesis and as she was looking at John, a lot of this was helping her make sense of the world that she was living in and the things that she could see through her job and the challenges that she had. We do have to be prepared to walk with people through a long journey. And even with Victoria, we talk about she comes and you can see she's responding to the preaching and she's obviously reading the Word one-to-one consistently, but it was still a couple of years before there was that profession of faith. She'd left church on the Sunday morning, visibly struck, moved and upset, and then she'd gone up to London and just God bringing all those things together, and she was so low key about it. She was like, I don't want you to make a big fuss, but I think I've become a Christian, and I'm like, well, I can't not make a big fuss about that. Come on.
It's meant that her faith has, from the very outset, has been based on the Bible, which has just founded it on something reliable and unchanging and irrefutably there in black and white. This is who God is. This is what it means to be a Christian. And this is your reference point. So everything since then, she's been able to go back to the Bible to see what it says. And because of that, when she comes up against challenges or challenges to the way she's done something before or decisions that she's had to make before, she knows that she can rely on the Bible because that's what drew her into faith in the first place.
It is a great resource, and it is a way of showing that greater point, which is the powers in the Word. And it's less about trying to get people to use a product, and it's more about getting them to understand this truth that God works through his word.
And questions come up, and I think reading the Bible with a friend is a good way of helping them hopefully see Jesus. So it's worth persevering, and I can say that because in my experience, Aaron and Ollie persevered a lot, but it paid off because eventually, or not eventually, because I don't think it took that long. They might feel that it took a long time, but eventually I was able to open my heart, and God let me in, and the Spirit is now within me, and that's what's really important. So it's definitely worth a go.